Well, hi everyone, it's Christy, and I am here on a really sad day, but I am joined with other people who are touched by the tragedy that has befallen our YouTube community. And before I introduce my many guests, I'll let them go through one by one. We're here today to talk about the life of Poison Ivy, of the skeptic feminist Heather, as those of us who knew her on Facebook and offline knew her. And to start off, one person wasn't able to join this hangout tonight. And before we go any farther, I wanted to read this out on behalf of the Ranting Feminist. It's dedicated to Heather. She writes, I had subscribed to the Skeptic Feminist about a year ago now, which is where I first saw Heather. I had the privilege of speaking to her a few times on Facebook, and one thing I remember is how she had a tendency to see the best in people and to eschew drama, instead of trying to bring people together with her content. She met an unfortunate end recently, and I do believe that we should not speculate on any specifics until all the facts come out. Regardless of the circumstances, it was really too soon for her to leave this world. In light of the circumstances, it has made it a lot harder to accept that this has happened. From my interactions with Heather, as well as watching her videos, I do believe that what she would want right now is for us, as a community, is to focus on the positives and to remember her as she was. So I hope today that my fellow feminists who are fortunate enough to live in a time zone that allows them to talk at this specific hour will do just that. Today, honor her memory by remembering the gentle, kind person she was. Heather has inspired me in many ways, and if it weren't for strong women like her being brave enough to speak out on YouTube, I probably wouldn't have had the courage to make my channel. A family has lost a daughter. Many have lost a friend, and sadly, we have all lost a voice in this community that was often the voice of reason, the one to calm us down and to make us come together. Sorry. I hope that we can all make it through this difficult time together. And I'm willing to support Heather's family, as well as Harley and Athena, in any way I can from this day forward. Should Harley, Athena, or Heather's family be watching this, please do know that you can get in touch or get in contact with me if you need any support I can help with. Thank you, the Ranting Feminist. So, right. I guess maybe I hadn't really thought too much about how to do this, but I guess turn taking is maybe the easiest, at least at first. The Ranting Feminist gave us a good instruction to focus on Heather and her life. So perhaps if we could start, and from my camera, it starts with Blissful Melancholy and then goes to Curiosity and then the Woolly Bumblebee. If it's all right, I'll just call on you guys. If you could say a few words about how you got to know Heather and what you thought of her, and then we'll go down the line if that's okay.
Yeah.
And maybe if everybody else could mute themselves when someone else is talking, and then unless it's your turn for the taking thing. So we'll start with Blissful Melancholy, and let us know when you're done so I can tell someone it's their turn next.
Sure. Well, I didn't know Heather well personally, but I did watch their channel, and I was always very touched by, well, for one thing, like her love of animals. She, I thought, and the fact that she was a polyamorous atheist on YouTube was very important to me. And I was like, wow, I've never seen anybody like that before. And just, sorry, I'm having trouble.
It's okay.
I was always very impressed by her ability to interact with seemingly like anybody and everybody with ease, and like how you said, like find the good in everybody. And yeah, that was something I admired about her.
All right, thanks. Curiosity, you're up next. Oh, you're still on mute, by the way. We can't hear you.
Sorry, I'm
Hello.
losing everything.
So they were one of the first channels to sort of notice me when I came onto YouTube, and they were, I got to know the three of them, and I obviously got to know, I got to know Heather a little better than the other, just because, I don't know, we didn't agree on everything, but I loved the way that she talked about things. She was very patient and gentle. She took her time explaining the way that she thought about things. She was very sincere, very kind. Um, there's a there was a wisdom about her, and I don't know. I just am not expressing well. She was, I was telling Mike, the only person who actually knew my real name, um, because we had just had conversations and things happened. So we ended up just giving information back and forth. And for me, that was a major point of trust, because I don't give anybody my real name, because, just the whole YouTube thing. Um, but I trusted her just absolutely implicitly, because she had that aspect of her that you just knew that that she would be trusted, that she could be, um, she wouldn't. I think about things like, she was losing weight. She was she'd gotten below 180 pounds, and she was so proud of herself, and she was doing so many healthy things, and she's apartment hunting, and it's all so very horrible to think that somebody could be that alive and positive and vibrant, and just gone. And um, yeah, I found out about it on Twitter. I wanted to say something about the ranting feminist, that I felt really bad, because she found out about it from seeing a meme.
Oh no.
Which I can't, it's just such a blow. Um, I had tried, I think a lot of us had tried to reach out to different people in the community, because she was very important to the community, and send messages, and tell people things. And, you don't get to everybody, or you're not thinking really. So I do think that Heather, every time I want to get really awful, um, I remember that Heather would, yeah, she's up there in Femhala just face palming at my stupidity, and she would want us to be nice to each other, because it's always what she was. She always wanted us to be nice to each other. She never, and she was always right. We never were. We never were that nice. Um, we're not nice enough to each other. There are some anti-fems I promised to mention. At Schmeckel is going to be getting together a video just to sort of give their love. And they always reached out to other people. They always reached out to the other side. Sorry, that's all I got.
That was beautiful. Wooly, I know that she was really, really important to you, and that she touched your life.
Yeah. Actually, it's kind of a bit of a long story, but I'll try not to ramble on too much. But I first met them when I was sort of reaching across the aisle to when I was an anti-feminist to feminists. And I first reached out to Micaiah and then to the Skeptic Feminist, and they were always just so welcoming. They, you know, it didn't matter that we didn't agree on everything. They were so welcoming, and it was a real pleasure to talk to them. And so I started, you know, having conversations, you know, in DMs with them about, you know, life and stuff like that. And I got to know Heather a bit more than the others. And like Christiosity said, you know, she had the type of personality where, you know, you felt at ease, you felt comfortable, you knew she wasn't someone that was, you know, going to, you know, take what you said and betray you or anything like that. And so, you know, I shared with her personal stuff, you know, and it was during a time when, you know, I was having a bit of a crisis with the personal stuff that was going on in my family. You know, it was pretty rough, and she was just really there for me. She listened. She gave me a shoulder to cry on when I needed it. She gave me, you know, positive, you know, messages of love, and, you know, you can do this, you can get through it. And she was just, I mean, I know it's not making sense because I'm not saying what it was, but I just don't want to put it out there because I know certain people will just jump on it.
Sure.
But yeah, she was amazing. And the way I found out about what happened was, I think it was Tim or Mike. I'm not sure which one. They were arguing about, you know, the situation going on. I said, "What's going on? Like, what?" You know, I had no idea what was going on. And then people told me on Twitter, and I was just, I couldn't believe it. I was just shocked. You know, and even now it's really still surreal. It's like, you know, I still have a hard time sort of coming to grips with the fact that it actually happened. And I think one of the worst parts is I've talked to one of Heather's very good personal friends in DMs, and I've, you know, shared personal stories and stuff with them about Heather and this and that. And I told her friend, I said, you know, one of the things that kills me is that I was going to give her a really good update to some of the stuff that we had been talking about in DMs and stuff she was supporting me with. And I wanted to give her that update, you know, that things were going really good, and, you know, tell her about it. And I don't have that opportunity to tell her. And I know she would have loved to have heard like how things were going. And that just, it totally sucks that she doesn't get to hear that, because I want to tell her, you know, you were a really huge, you know, reason why I didn't break down completely, why I didn't, you know, just lose my shit all over the place. You know, she really did help me a lot. And I'll never forget that, you know, I'll never forget that she was there for me during one of the most important times in my life. So yeah, I won't forget her for that. And I won't forget her for her positivity and her love, her compassion, her understanding. She was amazing. And like I said, it's kind of surreal that she's gone.
I know how you feel. I think we all feel that little bit of somehow the world's not right. Like this doesn't make sense. You know, this shouldn't be happening. Yeah. Kevin, you're up next. Just to let you know. And your mic, you're muted, yeah.
I can't hear him. Can you guys hear him?
No. Turn your mic on, Kev.
No sound.
0 sounds.
I saw that he swore, so I think he's aware of it. No. You just go to Michael and then come back to Kevin?
Yeah, Kev making no noises.
He's flailing, so I don't know. Maybe we should.
Come back to him?
He could leave the hangout and come back. Try turning it off and on again.
Yeah.
IT crowd, yeah.
Oh, could you guys hear me? All right.
Now.
Yeah, move on to the next person. Yep, that's right. Okay, so go ahead, Michael.
Oh, is it me? Okay.
Yep.
Hi everyone. Yeah, you guys said a lot of stuff that I was thinking as well. The skeptic, what are they called? The
skeptic feminist. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. They really helped me get started as part of the social. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I probably would have met you guys at some point, had it not been for them. But it might have been a lot longer, and before I was sort of introduced to you lot. So the skeptic feminist welcomed me into the community when I first started doing social justice stuff, and introduced me to many of you guys. So that, you know, I'm very thankful for them for that. And Heather specifically, her and I talked quite often, you know, in private messages and things like that. Yeah, because we got on pretty well on a personal level. Like someone said, has a love for animals, which I really dig. And she was just very kind and caring and supportive of what I did and the things I, you know, things that I do on my channel and whatnot. I hadn't talked with her in a while, but I'd seen, like Christy said, posts and stuff on the Facebook of her like really being awesome, you know, like say like losing weight and you know, the apartment thing, just all this awesome stuff. And it makes no sense. I saw I woke up the other morning, whenever it was, and it had happened like 5 hours or so before I was awake, and I sort of saw it in bits and pieces, and I saw that the attack had happened, but I didn't know who was a victim or whatever. And then someone sent me a message on Twitter, and said that Heather had been shot, and I didn't believe. I was like, what? How can you possibly know that? And I didn't know what to do. It was just the fucking worst thing ever. So, you know, she was a very special person. She was a very kind and caring, special person, and an important part of my life to some degree. And I still don't believe it. It's, even though I've never met her in person. I hoped I would at some point, but no.
Yeah,
So,
thanks for that,
Sorry.
Michael. Kevin, you wanna? I think we could hear you. So if you wanna step up back and you're back.
Yeah, I'm back. Okay, apologies.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was. Heather was an amazingly warm person. I remember when there had been a small argument between myself and another member of the TSF team, and she played peacemaker in the most glorious way. and it sort of, for me, it summed up, like I said, the warmth of the person, really, and the her love for animals as well. It was something I always was hugely admired in her, especially with the fact that she was so fond of rats. I quite liked, because it seemed the rat is, seen potentially as not the first choice for pets or whatever, but she took them in and gave them a loving home in a really beautiful way. And one of the things that warmed my heart was to know that those rats were okay, that they found loving homes in the wake of her passing. Yeah, I apologize for my lack of any flow.
I think
I'm
we're all struggling.
choked up by it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not always the most fluent of people at the best of times, but I think it would be unfitting to do what feels natural, which is just to fucking scream.
Mm.
So I think I'll just stay quiet instead.
All right. Tim, it's your turn to, yeah.
Well, I mean, I've been thinking about my experience with Heather, and I mean, I got to be honest, like, I never really, I guess, got along very well with the Skeptic Feminist channel. Like, their content didn't really appeal to me that much, but I was kind of on friendly terms with them. And then one day, like, all three of them produced a video which I strongly disagreed with, and I just started getting into like a massive fight with like Russian Deadpool. Basically, we were just flinging insults back and forth, and the relationship kind of broke down. But then I was on Facebook and I just started chatting with Heather, and she was just like, it's kind of like silly that we're having this fight, or like we're having this conflict and everything, and we should be able to sort it out. So I was just like, yeah, we should have a hangout and have a talk about it or something. And then on my channel, you can see that, we just talked through it, because she reached out to me and we, started talking and chatting, and she was just like incredibly, just like kind and friendly, and she's just such an incredibly just sweet person. And out of the Skeptic Feminist, she was the one that I could talk to, and she was the one that I kind of had a relationship with to some extent, like. And yeah, I mean, like what Kevin said about her being a bridge builder and stuff is just that's what really stands out to me, because if I hadn't talked to her on Facebook and sort of chatted about all that, it just would have been downward spiral in the relationship. But she was like, let's talk about it, let's sort it out. And yeah, I mean, she was just that kind of person. She's like very warm and very loving and friendly. And I don't know, quite sad that I won't get the opportunity to talk to her again, because she's just an incredibly kind person. So I mean, when I heard the news, I was just trying not to have a breakdown all day, basically. So I mean, yeah, that's my experience with her. So
yeah, that's, there's a theme coming up that I'm going to reinforce, which is Heather is a warm person who sort of built bridges. If she was,
because we would have just kept going on fighting if it wasn't for her being like, hey, let's sit down and have a chat about it. And I was like, I may have just misjudged these guys, because she is so warm and so understanding and friendly. I kind of felt like an idiot. Like, what was I doing fighting with these people?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, hey, we've got Mick's up. Mick's here, just joined. This is great. Yeah, so Mick, we are just going around with our memories of Heather. And since you just joined in, maybe I'll give mine, and then you can jump in with yours, unless you're kind of ready to go.
Can I just interject? Tim, you're breaking my heart, man. I want to hug you like a sweet teddy bear or something, and you're too far away.
Yeah.
Oh.
What can you do?
This has been, I think,
that is all that happened.
it's been a horrific week for all of us, and obviously for everybody who knew her and her family. So it's, yeah. But we've all been doing this through typing onto a keyboard or on our phones or on our laptops or computers, and I just felt like we needed to remember her in person as much as we can. You know.
Well, I mean, like when when I watched my hair with her, I felt like half the time I was sad, and then the other half the time I was just like laughing because we're just having like such a good interaction. It was a good memory, you know.
Yeah, I do.
Mm.
Okay.
Anyway.
Was that everything, Tim? For now?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, to give Mick a little chance to kind of get his thoughts. Yeah, I'm kind of the same as what, other people have said here. In terms of the skeptic feminist, I was closer to her than anybody else in the group. And we weren't like, she was my Facebook friend. We'd done hangouts together. I would never have hesitated to drop her a line. I know that most recently we had an exchange over, she really liked the costume I wore to Carnival. And so we had a chat about that because she's, did cosplay and things. But yeah, she was the kind of person that, I was trained as a massage therapist. She did massage therapy. And you just have to have, to do that kind of work, you need a warm heart. You need to really key into what other people are going through. And there was some kind of a fallout with sort of the skeptic feminist and some other people kind of in our community, and she was the one person that I stayed in contact with, like on a more regular basis. And like Christiosity was saying, she just posted about the weight she lost, and she'd fit into some clothes that she hadn't worn in years, and she was so pleased with herself. And there were just so many, like, yeah, I think there were no negative associations.
Well, she didn't want to shut people off. She wanted to talk about things. She wanted to reach out and have dialogue with people. And that's what was so impressive about her to me. I was just like, even if her group is fighting with people, she would still reach out and be like, hey, let's talk about it. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, Mick, if you're ready, if you have a little something you want to share, bring yourself off mute and when you're ready.
Unlike a lot of you guys, I wasn't as close with her, but one of the things that I definitely remember is that because I started out as a religion channel is how I started out. And it was thanks to her videos and her speaking up and showing that you can rock the boat without capsizing it, that I actually started to go, hey, why am I constantly playing it safe, afraid to rock the boat? And I started speaking up about social issues, and she was one of the ones who was right there at the beginning while I was getting my feet under me, going, yeah, keep going, these are great. And it was kind of that encouragement when I needed it, and constructive criticism when I needed it, that I always remember from her. And also it was her videos and the rest of the skeptic feminists as well, but a lot of her videos talking about relationships and talking about basically being strong even when you're not feeling strong, and her words of encouragement that really, to be honest, it kept me going sometimes. And even when I was like, hey, I don't know if I can keep doing this, I just get this little message and it was like, hey, this is Ivy, keep going, you're doing great. And I'm like, yay, senpai noticed me type feeling. And it was honestly thanks to her talking about polyamorous relationships and dealing with the ins and outs of it and answering questions that I had of her that actually made me become more open to the idea, because it's basically, it was the whole love is love. Stop stop viewing it as completely sexual, stop viewing it as to be in a relationship equals sex. And strange as it sounds, I'm actually now in a poly relationship with my husband and a very close friend. And even though I'm asexual, there's still that love, there's the companionship. And if it wasn't for talking with her and getting these questions answered, I would have never taken that plunge, so to speak.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt again, but I think that's an important point that I didn't mention, that she and the whole Skeptic Feminist team taught me a lot about that and did open me up to the concept, which seems alien to me at the time, but now it works, you know.
I know, obviously before that we learned about all this, it was unusual to me too, but with very quickly I was just sort of thinking of them as a unit. They were just together, and it wasn't weird or strange. It was just that's how they organized, that's how they loved. So yeah, I can relate to what you guys are saying on that one. All right, so I guess maybe maybe we can take our mics off and have a more free discussion if people are just willing to let other people speak. So curiosity.
Hello. Okay.
The thing about the polyamorous is it takes a person. It was amazing to me how watching her in a relationship, because she always kept herself, and yet she had so much to give to other people, and she could give to more than one person without jealousy, without rancor, without, like, there was never an ego thing going on with Heather. And let's face it, we're all very, there's a lot of egos going on in YouTube in general, but Heather was never like that. Her ego was never assertive or prominent. She was always capable of listening to another point of view. She would give you constructive criticism. It would be nice, but she would give you criticism. She knew what she was about. She didn't, and just because other members of Skeptic Feminist thought one way or did one thing, she made up her own mind. She always, so it wasn't like, I think people could very easily misrepresent what their relationship was like. And I don't want to get into that, but, she had a lot of dignity. She knew herself. She knew what she was about. She just wasn't jealous about love. She just had a very capacity to give a lot of love. And that was who she was.
If you watch videos with her in them, she's like the most relaxed person.
She's always so chill.
She's so chill. She's just like always just so chilled out all the time. Like I'm a bit jealous. I wish I was capable of that.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But and understanding as well, like very willing to listen.
She was always she always tried to convince me, because I'd always say about how much I love their rats, and I was like, because I used to have rats as well, and so I would vibe on the fact that they had these rats, and I was always like, I can't get any now because I travel so much for work and whatnot, right? And she's like, you just got to get them as they had them as like, companion pets or something. They're like comfort pets, and you're allowed to take them on planes and stuff.
Oh,
so
really?
So she kept trying to convince me to get some rats that I could just.
Do you need a permit or some shit? Like I need this
stuff like it.
You get a doctor's note, basically, is what you get, saying that you need them for therapy or for depression. I actually had companion guinea pigs, so
like, I need this marijuana for back pain.
I think I'm right in saying that Harley has a therapy cat, which she takes basically everywhere with her.
Yeah,
it's just the best. Yeah, right.
I got to turn Balthazar into a therapy. He wouldn't like that though. I'd be like, why do you keep fucking taking me everywhere?
I want to go on the plane.
Leave me alone, Tim.
I want to go home, damn it.
Exactly. You're already making weird videos with me, Tim. Just fucking stop.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the pot calling the kettle black there, Kevin.
It was his
How dare
idea.
you? How dare you?
It's
My cat is French and talks, so that's not weird.
Kim can't have Balthazar as a therapy cat because I'm going to steal it eventually anyway.
Look, the videos were his idea. It's what he
Sat
wanted.
down.
He scripted them.
Now, Tim, I would need to talk about this. I've got some ideas for a video. Meow. And then, is that how it went?
Huh?
Was that the conversation you had?
Oh, yeah, basically. And some
Yeah.
sniffing.
No, I thought he took over. He just puts thoughts into Tim's brain. That's how.
He does that thing where you boop someone. He boops his face onto Tim and transfers thoughts that way.
It's called bunting.
Also, I noticed with the skeptic feminist pets, like they had was it like a cat and a dog and a rat, and they're all just frolicking together, like
Fucking massive
Yeah.
menagerie. Yeah, it was awesome.
And
Like a little
none of
zoo
the
going
animals
on.
have any issue with each other, so the animals are polyamorous as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So much love.
the big old ginger
Hold on,
cat they
David,
had.
poly
So the big old ginger cat.
animal.
Hey.
Polyanimal.
The big cat
Kevin's-
used to
let Kevin
curl
speak.
up with the rats. The big cat
Yeah.
used to just curl up with rats and stuff, which I've
Yeah.
never ever seen with any cat ever.
Super
It's
cute, right?
amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, they'd always post photos on Facebook, and I'd see, with just the rats being all together. Didn't they have a ferret as well? Maybe,
Yes,
I can't remember.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
just
they did.
yeah,
and they all had
Like-
amazing names as well. Like after
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The video that I put out today with the most updated information on her memorial service, I was looking for photos, and I was like, oh, I've got to get the rat photos in there because,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just looked at
sorry.
I just looked at the last message that I had from Heather on Facebook, and she said that I'm her favorite Kiwi.
You're
Oh,
Well, fruit
God damn it.
Pwned, Tim.
That's
That's what it is.
Yeah, but Michael, did you mean your favorite kiwi bird or favorite kiwi fruit?
I am a bit of a fruit. Let's be honest.
Is there I was wondering, Christy, is there you said that the family was going to talk about an official or like a charity that they were endorsing or something.
Right. That's
But
right.
that's not ready. That's not there yet.
So I think what they did first was they made the funeral arrangements. Now this is inference based on what they've posted on the Facebook page, but I think their main concern was the physical and logistical arrangements of her funeral. And then they're going to be making the other arrangements and announcements about like donations and where people could send flowers, or if there's a charity that's going to be set up in her name, because all those things kind of need to be arranged. But the last thing that her mom posted was that the service is going to be on the date that I announced, and a few more details on the location and whatnot that are publicly available, but I'm not going to put out on YouTube. But then that she just wanted to have some privacy and some rest, and would be updating us closer. So I'm sure by the 25th we'll know by the day of her memorial. And I was also thinking maybe we could use this time. I don't know if people here would want to do something, like put up either her photo as your avatar for the day of her memorial, or a black square to remember her. But there's been so much talk about things that are not Heather, and I'd really like, at least on here, especially on that day, where we would all focus on her. So I'm open to those suggestions as well. But yes, as soon as I hear more information on how people can show their appreciation, or send flowers or whatever, I will certainly make that known.
We could all dress up as Ivy.
Yeah. Poison ivy.
Wear green lipstick.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I've definitely,
yeah.
I've definitely
Oh,
got,
no, that's it.
I've definitely got the tits for it. So
Well, she
It's
has
your
so many
day, folks.
things.
What was,
yeah,
what was that, Christy?
sadly, it is all fucking day. Yeah, I wish you'd go away.
She just had so many passions, I mean, she had the atheist group that she was in charge of, or was one of the people in charge of, or something. I don't remember exactly how that worked out.
the Western Colorado Atheist and Free Thinkers.
Right.
Alliance.
Yeah.
And she did she had feminism, she was a vegan, she loved animal rights. I mean, there were just, I don't know, because she worked a lot, but I don't know how you get that much time in a day.
Witchcraft.
No, all right, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's also the whole, I guess, I don't know if we want to talk about it all, just the drama side of everything that has just been so ridiculous. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah, I think we're going to do a separate hangout maybe after. I mean, I have a lot of things to say too, but I'd rather focus on her and us today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I know. I was just going to say I'm going to wait until all of the the official stuff's done, the memorial's done, and I have then to unload upon several people rounds of verbal ammunition because
It's going to be
unacceptable behaviour.
I mean, when it happened, I did think a lot about making a video, but then I just thought about it and I was like, nothing I have to say right now would be very constructive or useful. It would just be me like kind of raging out and I'd just be kind of a mess and I don't know who that's going to help. So that's just like...
I might have made a video.
If I'm going to do one, I'll do it later.
I might have made a video and it might have been featured on We Hunt the Mammoth, just saying.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm looking through my message, my last exchange with Heather. I'm reading through it now because I'd sent her again pictures of me.
I don't think I could handle doing that. I don't know how you guys are doing that.
Yeah, it's kind of...
I couldn't look at that.
My carnival costume, and we have an exchange, and she's telling me like, "Oh, you're not that," because I was saying I'm getting kind of old, and she said, "Just keep doing the work that is important to you. You will reach the people that need it."
That's why I didn't want to look at it.
You're killing me, everyone. I want to hug everyone, and
Virtual hug.
Yeah. And I think I didn't expect, you said, Kevin, in your hangout today that you didn't expect it to be.
Yeah.
You've got a lot on, but it's been a lot harder. I think because, and I was saying this to Chrissy yesterday before we came on air, if you try to describe it to people, you're like somebody that I know through YouTube, this terrible thing has happened to, and they're like, they don't understand. When these things happen before, it happened to your neighbor or your coworker or somebody that was physically present. But to try to describe the loss of somebody who exists to you digitally, but still means so much.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Actually, I think to broaden the topic out to something completely fucking weird. I think we're going to have to come up with a new set of emotional responses as societies to this, because obviously in previous generations there was no way of having these kind of communications. But yet these people are still as real as anyone else. I talk to people online like Michael or Christy or whatever more regularly than I do people who live 50 feet away from me sometimes. You know?
Well, I mean, you could have a digital wake or something, but...
Well, human...
That's kind of what this is.
I guess it is a digital wake.
I was going to say, just human connection is human connection, period. And the entire reason that people invented the internet, or rather like the version of the internet that we're using right now, was for communication and connection. And it's what we thrive off of. And really, I think that to me, it was inevitable that people would form such strong connections through it, and that there would still be a very strong tendency and people like having the ability to bond and to be able to use their intuitions to, like sort of read people. And like what Chrissy said, I mean, there are some people that you can just sort of feel the type of person that they are, which is why Chrissy just trusted her so much. And I felt that coming off of her too, just from watching their videos.
Yeah. So the weird thing about the internet is like it can be used for such good, but it can also be used for such evil. And I that's why I really appreciate people who use it for good, people who use it to support each other and be kind and charitable and empathetic, because it's kind of like a choice. You can easily use the internet to just be a dickbag to everybody, you know? But some people choose to use it to be kind, and that's what I appreciate. Exactly, Christy, yeah.
How do you feel about people like me who use it just to waste time?
What? Look at porn. Okay, yeah. That's a change of topic for a different day.
Is it really a change of topic though? I mean,
I don't know. We are on the internet.
We were talking about your tits before, weren't we, Kev? So.
Well,
I guess yeah. That's
really.
the other use of it is just for like looking at pictures of puppies,
Cats,
and cats. Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever life gets you down, just look up puppy swarms and
just intermittently go back and sorry.
No, go ahead.
I like looking at.
Let Blissful Melancholy in for a second.
Oh, sorry.
Intermittently go back and forth between cute animals and porn. That's basically what. When I was in college, I was in a free thinkers group, and we would always joke that the conversation would always somehow devolve into topics of cute animals or porn or both. So, like,
you've got like 5 tabs open, and 3 of them are memes with cute cats, like porn.
Yeah, but make sure you click on the right one that you're looking for. Otherwise,
yeah, it gets confusing.
And don't combine the two. Oh
God!
Polyanimus, animal.
But I was just gonna say, like, yeah, what Christy said about forming a digital connection is kind of fascinating, because I mean, I know all of you guys just through the digital medium as well, and I care about all of you too. So I mean, you know, I've never. Well, no, not counting Michael. I met that guy.
Yeah, I'm the best one.
But everyone else here, I've never met. You know, so.
Well, did New Zealand suffer some sort of, I don't know, massive quake or something? Because the meeting of the 2 greatest Kiwis together in one room must have been.
Oh my God!
Earth-shattering.
It was yeah.
Well,
it was quite
we took a photo. There was a photo where Michael looked super happy, and I looked like kind of scared, and everyone responded just like "Save Tim," hashtag "Rescue Tim." Is Tim okay?
Yeah, but wasn't that your wedding?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Michael,
you have every right to be terrified, then, surely.
Michael, you also frightened him too by giving a vicarious hug for me, right?
Yeah, that's right. I just sort of jumped on him.
He hug attacked me. Yeah.
Yeah. I also when Tim was standing at the altar waiting for Amy to come, I was like, I had my camera like zoomed in on his face real hard, and I was trying to take like awkward photos of his face while he was waiting for her to come, and I wanted to get like a really awkward photo of him just being like, oh God, oh, what am I doing?
My life's over. Sometime in the future, she's gonna take my children. That's what I was thinking.
I love doing hangouts with Christiosity because there's always an attack of the small people at some point. Which is cool.
In the background, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
No, they love
it. No, it's glorious. We were talking about puppy swarms, and I imagine this is just the human version of that, surely.
Human swarm.
Yes.
Well, one of the things, I think another thing that makes it weird is that I know these communities
anything
who are like bizarre. No, I'm sorry. I love you, Michael. You know that. Guys, just give me 1 minute, okay? Okay.
Awesome.
That's great.
Get out of town.
Mommy of 5 or something. Manipulating their children by having them on a hangout.
Yeah, well, just reasoning with them and going, could I have just 2 minutes? And like, okay.
I like the fact that she was being ever so polite, but I imagine if she wasn't on camera, that conversation might have been a bit more brusque, a bit more to the point.
Oh, I don't know. It seems
no, I'm not really. Like,
No, that's
we all
me.
have our
Just
moments.
Fuck off! Leave me alone! You evil bastards! Go
That's
away.
nuclear my kid.
Why would I could not be like that?
Kevin can just make an app so that like Chrissy can access it when her kids are being naughty, and she can just be like Kevin, like yelling at them.
Yeah.
No, just get a picture of my face and just go, if you keep behaving like this, you'll end up like this fucking loser. You don't like this.
You'd be a
That's what-
potato
Kevin's
when you
Kid
grow up.
Control. That could be the name of the app. And you press a button and it's just like, fuck off. Fuck off out of it.
Yeah.
You little cunts. Fuck off out of it.
Yeah,
Also, well, I don't want to bring it down again, but to bring the conversation back
Yeah.
to depressing things. And this is kind of unrelated, but
this
Chris
is why
Cornell
this is
died.
why you're not the anyway.
Chris Cornell died.
Ah, don't get me started.
And I've been listening to his music for the
Tim.
last 3 days.
Tim.
This is why you're number 2 Kiwi, mate. You can't be doing this. Is that right?
This is why we can't have nice things, Tim.
I
We
guess.
should say though. We should say to that.
He was an amazing vocalist.
Give our love to Harley. And
Oh, yeah.
give our love to Laura
Yeah.
Yeah.
and her family. And
And Chris Cornell.
exactly. Yeah.
Even though
For
I
those
never
of you
knew
who
that
are
guy. but-
Tim is the
I never
killer
knew
of
him
the
at
happy
all.
boner.
Yeah,
He
guys.
just had.
Well, we have been going for about an hour, and we feel
Oh, shit, really?
it feels like we filled it up. But
I wish awesome people would stop dying, to be honest. It's really
yeah,
irritating.
It's
Well,
really
irritating is the
inconsiderate.
wrong word.
Mortality pills.
A
Inconsiderate.
harsher word than irritating. It's just sucks.
Well, this is the thing. Without getting too hardcore atheist about it, it's difficult to think of a loving God that allows Chris Cornell and Poison Ivy to die, but allows Roger Ailes to reach 72. Fuck off.
Good point. Absolutely.
We have proven there is no
I think,
God.
Well, certainly.
Well, I think we-
yeah, go on. Sorry.
well, that's all right. I was just going to say, you know what really, Heather touched all of our lives in a way that brought us together, and you know, as atheists, we keep her alive.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I'm the one
No,
bringing
this-
it down.
No, yeah, I just personally like to say thank you to Christy for having the strength to do this.
Yeah.
This has clearly moved her enormously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Christy.
Love you, Christy.
I definitely
thank you.
appreciate it.
No, well, thanks, you guys. Well,
I wanted to
what
be
we-
able to say my experience with Heather, and just not sure if I could have done it in my own video. So I appreciate being
yeah,
able to talk to all of you about it.
we're all so far apart, but we're all going through a lot of the same pain.
Yeah.
So what I think I'll do now is I'm going to wrap up the live show. We can stay off air and have a chat after this now that we're all in the room and together. But I think this was what we came to do, which is to. Sorry, Chrissy, I say I'm going to mute you for a second.
Shut up, Christy Austin's children. Shut up.
Yeah, life
Child
goes on.
Madrid.
Michael.
Michael, shut up.
Michael, stop revealing the script for my next video, for fuck's
He
sake.
does a better kids impression than the actual kids.
Christy's trying to do this like really decorum-laden thing, and you guys are just
Yeah,
Alright.
so I think
Well,
what you know.
why did she invite me and Roland's on then? That was never
Yeah,
going to happen.
you
Come
two
on.
in a room is
Yeah.
always a mistake. But
Two pricks.
yeah, I think, you know,
Shush.
Heather touched all of our lives and our hearts, and I know a lot of people in my comment section on the announcements are in shock and horror too, so I hope that listening to us and hearing the stories will kind of help them vicariously. I want to also, before anyone else talks, I want to thank all of my guests for coming, for sharing, and I'm not going to let them get a word in edgewise. We can talk off air. But for those of you who stuck around, please, if you want to leave some of your memories of Heather, go ahead and do so in the comments. We're all going to miss her terribly. And again, when I hear more information on the wishes of the family, I will certainly pass those on in a video. So, signing off, and if everyone, I guess I'll let you talk now. And I'll put Chrissy back on. If you guys just want to do a big, massive goodbye and farewell to those of all of you, all of the people who are watching, who also are going to miss Heather. So, Goodbye.
Much love.
Bye.
Bye.
Much love.
Bye.
Bye.